The so-called 11th February is coming up soon. What are we doing about it to send a message? Nobody is saying anything about it. So, not to make this audio too long, this is what I'm saying, especially to a group like Socamif. I think there's been a lot of talking in this house for the longest time. It is time for Socamif to step up and start showing some responsibility that they too can pick a project, articulate a project first of all, plan it, and execute it on the ground for our struggle. Fellow comrades, I really want to come to us this day of today, Tuesday, because it is barely a few days when we all listened to Mr. Quentin's presentation, and we were part of it. At least I believe most of us were. And we were able to hear from him how others were able to manage to free themselves from oppression. And he gave us a number of tools that could help us in our own endeavor. But when I look at the interactions that are going on in this forum and others, it feels like that presentation was given months ago. I say so because I don't hear much talking about the things that he told us about. There's no effort at strategizing towards utilizing some of those tactics that he very well explained to us. And despite the efforts of a few of us in here, like Comrade Derek, to remind us of the importance of being positive and constructive and making sure that we are doing things that add value to our struggle. We tend to be just we seem to be unable to resist the temptation to engage in this constant bickering and name calling between ourselves. You see, it is just so self-defeating to engage in such a destructive tendency. You see, we need to get away from this constant bickering and start being more constructive. Enough talking here already. You see, I believe that competition is not a bad thing. Competition is not a bad thing, but it depends on what you are competing about. It depends on what you are competing about. And even when we condemn the actions of some of our comrades and brothers on the ground and those in the diaspora who encourage such negative actions, it is not because we hate them, but it is because we see that those actions are not helping us with what we are trying to do here. So let me quote this example. Let's assume that we all were competing to outdo each other in the various constructive things that can really help us succeed. For example, let's say Comrade Fawn were able to carry out or to encourage some boys on the ground to carry out an action that took down like one La Republique terrorist military post. And another person saw that and said, oh, so you want to show, what are you trying to show me? I would show you that I can do better. I'll take down two. Or I will take down another one that's even bigger than the one you did. Or the other person will say, I'm providing 2 sticks to this camp. Another person says, I will show you how I can do better. I'll provide 5. Or this person is out here mounting pressure, diplomatic pressure on one or through one of the congressmen or senators Oh, there are so many things that we could be doing. Or somebody could say, I will raise resources to fund this activity or that activity on the ground. Constructive things, ideas. There are people in the various fora who claim to have military expertise, but you never see them coming up to put their ideas and to help our boys who have never been trained in any military tactics, help them to be able to manage themselves, be disciplined, and to be tactically ready to engage the enemy. We don't see these things. It is just us engaging in some foolishness, clownish behavior, calling each other names, and we do it from morning till night. We do it from morning to night. And my question is, when you do your own evaluation of your own activism in this struggle, and you engage in such stuff, at the end of each day, what really can you say you have done that has added value to this struggle? At the end of each week, engaging in such back and forth between yourselves, how really are you helping to move the struggle forward? At the end of each month, just engaging in internal bickering amongst yourselves while the enemy is causing mayhem on our civilians on the ground. How really is that helping us to succeed? That is what I need to know. I think the time has come for us to really start doing some self-evaluation. To evaluate your own self before someone else does it. Ask yourself, what really are you contributing to the success of Ambazonia's freedom? Do your own self-evaluation. Don't wait for someone else to do it for you. You see, sometimes until you try to do something yourself, you may not know how difficult it is. Yes, because some of us are fond of just criticizing this person, criticizing that person. But when you ask yourself, what really have you done? What initiative have you engaged or have you been engaged in that others too can evaluate your own competence in doing anything for this struggle? What have you done? I think that's what we need to start asking ourselves first. So I really hope that this year 2025 will be a year of results, not just talking. That this temptation to pick fights with each other is just too irresistible, that we do it all day with no benefits to the struggle, and we don't see the futility of such behavior. You see, the question is this: at the end of each day or each week or each year, what net value does this internal bickering add to the struggle? That's the main question I'm asking. Of course, we know it adds nothing. On the contrary, it helps to discourage and to divide us and to discourage a lot of people. It really helps to discourage and divide us and makes us, it's a disincentive for others who may want to be part of the struggle. There are people who have just decided to say, you know what, this is a waste of my time. Because even when somebody comes in and is trying to do something, even if that person should make a mistake, the way people jump on him or her, and when the people jumping on that person are not able to do any better, because they themselves are not willing to put themselves out there so that others too can evaluate their own competence. And I think this has to stop. Now, from Mr. Quinton's presentation, he gave us three things. He gave us three things that we ought to focus on, which are the same things that others who were in our own very position as well used to compel the oppressor to yield to negotiations. He gave us three things. And I personally asked him that question. And this is what he told us. The first thing is, you have to make sure that the oppressor feels some economic penalty. You have to make sure there is economic sabotage on the enemy and its resources. That was the first thing he said. Secondly, there must be a military resistance which brings pain on the enemy, so that the enemy's population, civilian population, will ask why they continue to lose their fighters to a senseless war. That is what he told us about how they engage, how they engage the war against the United Kingdom, being the NRA. And thirdly, he said we have to make sure there is international pressure through diplomacy, of course. So these are the three legs on which our struggle must stand if it has to succeed: economic sabotage, military pressure, as well as international pressure. These are the three things he told us we have to do. When I see the interactions in these various fora today, nobody is even talking about any of this. The so-called 11th February is coming up soon. What are we doing about it to send a message? Nobody is saying anything about it. So, not to make this audio too long, this is what I'm saying, especially to a group like Socamif. I think there's been a lot of talking in this house for the longest time. It is time for Socamif to step up and start showing some responsibility, that they too can pick a project, articulate a project first of all, plan it, and execute it on the ground for our struggle. So these are the three things that I've put here on the table. Socamif should come together, articulate a project that they think will add value to this struggle. Let people put their mouths or their pockets where their mouths are. This is no longer time for people to just talk. Show us what you can do. If you want to pick a project on economic sabotage, go ahead and do it. If you want to do a military resistance, go ahead and do it. If you want to put resources in the hands of our boys on the ground, do it. If you want to do some fundraising, resource mobilization to give these boys the tools to resist with, do it. But by all means, do something. If you want to go the route of diplomacy, do it, but do something that's meaningful, that will add value to this struggle. I think there's been too much talking, and people just, it's like some kind of entertainment room now, where people just come to pass time. So the challenge is on Socamif here. Pick a project, please. Plan it, execute it, show us what you can do. It's not enough to just criticize others. Even when others are doing their best, all we do is criticize. Show us what you two can do. Pick a project, sponsor it, and I'm willing, if you pick a project, and I'm willing to support it myself. If there's a good project that will add value to this struggle, I'm willing to put my own money in it. But by all means, those in Socamif, it's time to show the leadership that you criticize others of. Enough talking. It's time for action. Okay? All right, I'm waiting.
You spoke very well. I don't have anything against everything you said. Questions. 1. Do you know what would have happened to CPT Fan if he used his skills to help the struggle? He would have been in prison today. He has used his skills, but you don't want to see or appreciate it. 2. Do you have any organized army on the ground? 3. What part of La Republic economy do you want us to sabotage? 4. What diplomacy has not yet been done in this struggle? What are the results of what has been done? 5. Did that wise guy not say that we need to come together as soon as possible? So, do we not have to start from there before we accomplished other tasks? My proposal is that you all break all your groups. Socamif will help to organize elections of neutral Ambazonians to rethink the struggle. Don't say again that we make noise or jokes.
Hey, Comrade Mike Fusi, this is the mechanic. I listened to your audio with a lot of interest. Come to think of it, what good enough you were able to insert this point somewhere deep in your audio about what the guys said and the 3 proposals, where you spend a lot of the rest of the time bashing at people who are not doing much. But you know that what you've done here is you could have spent a lot of time in this audio proposing, highlighting what you understood he meant by these points. You will realize that most of the problems we're having, even the discussions we're having here in the forum, border around these issues you've just mentioned. When you talk of competition, positive competition on the ground, that's exactly where we were when we started off. Where you will have a defense group do something, the other defense group will do something else. This was right here. We lived through that before the bad stuff started happening. And so you come here and you are saying that people who get in here and criticize are of any less importance than those who are trying to do stuff. I disagree. I disagree. This, one of the reasons we have faltered in our work forward has not been the presence of criticism, it's been the absence of criticism. Absence because those who are being criticized ignored, completely turned their ears off from the criticism and kept doing things that were not going to help. And here we are today. So you cannot, why do you think that the Western countries particularly give a lot of respect to the media, particularly the organized one? Why do you think that they take their journalists very seriously? Why do you think that no matter what they do, if they show up to question, they're willing to sit down and bring everything on the table and explain? Why can't we learn from that? At the end of your audio, you're simply turning Socamif into another group. No, Socamif is not a group. Socamif is a platform for us to sound our thoughts about this, our struggle, and in the process, harmonize our thoughts so that when we engage, we know exactly where we're coming from. And if we disagree with somebody, we know exactly where the disagreement is. And you are engaging with them because you know somewhere you're going to give something and they will give something and you meet somewhere. But according to you, this is waste of time, right? So keep doing what we've done. We went to Nigeria, started Skakuf. Some people were too smart and decided to turn it into a government. And others were kind enough to just follow and be very happy about it. And then it took us down this road. I wish they had listened to those who were outrightly saying there should be no argument, no government, at least not creating it the way they created it. I wish they had listened. Imagine where we would have been at this point if Skakov had stayed there and all the movements were meeting together and deciding how we go ahead. Just go back and think. And then you will see why it is not enough to always do something. Sometimes it is good to stop doing and start listening. Stop doing and start listening. 11 February is coming up, yes. At this point, if we had done our homework, we will not even be talking about it because there will be no event on the ground. Why is it still an event on the ground? Because people came up, all the governments we've known, nobody has taken the time to go down and harmonize and get the people to sit down and have a conversation. It's always trying to impose. You are not telling us it's coming or what are we doing? All you're looking for us to do is put pressure on the population to sit in, which is okay. I mean, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But are we not, 8 years down? 8 years down. I think the time has come for people to listen, especially those who've been up there thinking they're governments and they have business to do. I wish they just came off those high horses and sat down and listened so that together we can chart a way forward. Anyway, again, I thank you for mentioning the 3 points, but when you came out saying people were not talking about issues, but you had not put the issues either on the forum. You yourself had not done same. I heard Derek mentioning that, and I was going to tell him to come out and put some stuff out here. I think I even said something to that effect, so we can see how we tear it apart. From the 3 points you mentioned, as far as I'm concerned, the economic sabotage is number one. It's number one. The issue of making our roads impassable is how you get to economic sabotage. The issues of making sure that our people have a way of making a living, which is within our own boundaries, is a way you get to economic sabotage of the enemy. The issues of stopping the extended administration of the enemy in our homeland is how you get to economic sabotage. Because right now, wow, they are just getting ransom, let me call it that, ransoms from our people. Because they're not willingly giving them, but they go out and take anyway. Not only are they taking their monies, they are taking their lands, they're doing all this crazy stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that actually is a number one. Now, what you were saying about our defense, of course, that's how we get to it. But we can never count too much on the military part of things. We do not have that kind of resources. I personally believe that what we have now is working. And if we strengthen the guerrilla tactic, we are better off. But if we are going to get any further in economic sabotage and defense, our populations cannot be passerbys. They have to be right at the middle of these things. Now, talking about the international community, this is where the division really hurts us. You are not going to do a lot of that, fractured as we are. It's not going to work. So there is need to see how you either collaborate or unite, whatever you choose to do, before you tackle diplomacy, because anytime you try to do that while divided, it doesn't work. And the enemy exploits that every time. We've already been seriously hurt by this division. And I thought, I guess that's why he didn't mention the idea of uniting, because he's presuming that we can do diplomacy. But I can tell you we cannot do diplomacy at this point. Yeah. Well, that's what I would say about your 3 points. Me too, I push it to the end, just like you did yours. But God help Ambazonia. This is the mechanic.
This is a magistral intervention from the mechanic himself, the son of the catechist. That's the school bus. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, the mechanic. I see some these were comrades them way either they don't get on their conception or some philosophy with the one propagate them to Ambazonians. When they find themselves in Socamif, they refuse to Socamif another group way they could come inside can sell that their philosophy or that their doctrine. Like those the way they talk about the sovereignty doctrine. The defaulters Socamif because Socamif they tell them which way they get for a year, not which way they like for a year. Those the way they be group proponents or group surrogates. They define an issue with Socamif because they misconstrue Socamif for a group. Mechanic, I know if you put them any better than the way you put them, my brother, because you sound so diplomatic with a lot of decorum. Because if Nami I want talk, it would be like say they insult people. Because when I see adult, papa, the way they get grand picking them, they can't talk for Socamif. How is Socamif now only talk for Socamif? You made me ask them whether they even know where to be Socamif or why they find themselves for Socamif. Like this man, where I begin respect for it, he can enter groups like Fusi. He can say talk for Socamif. I don't ask a simple question today. Say make him talk. Make CNN stop for criticize Trump. Make it talk. Make MSNBC stop for criticize Trump and the other platform them. We for Socamif we go stop talking. Now man, this way we talk how we fit go for grassroots mobilization for see how we fit get a common front for say we will get mandated representatives. All of a sudden, we never even finish talk about which way Kenton can teach we. A leader, Chris Anu, when be the Confucianist, the number one Confucianist for the whole this revolution. He stopped a conversation where he the my pussy ask me we should don't get them. Say me they sow seed for go find lobby firm. Age of seed don't find lobby firm. Sako don't find lobby firm. Chris Anu to don't find lobby firm. Finally, we know they make ourselves look like some stupid group of people where they don't know which way they want. Where just say the United States Department of State Gushidong, they want to see a group of lobbyists and come. We have been sent by the IG of Dr. Sako to come and lobby for Ambazonia. You want that same State Department? Want to see another group of lobbyists and come? So we have been sent by the government of Ambazonia, represented by Chris Anu. It won't be another week. Another group of lobbyists that come. So we have been sent by the government of AGOVC, headed by Dr. Ayaba, to come and lobby. For them. Finally, even that State Department go ask and say, we Ambazonians, they were sorry, we were serious. Chris Anu should don't dare they start asking me the soul seed. They be very normal within my Fusi because in a group. I hate when people they be intelligent, who greet for front, greet the shadow, even their normal reasoning. They can't talk about noise for Socamif. Thank you, mechanic. A number of people put them better than you put them. Means I never put my own in a problematic way. Thank you, mechanic. Thank you, mechanic. Thank you, mechanic. For schooling Mike Fusi. Just like I about the school they Norwegians and now so.
Hey, Fabiano, I see you're so fascinated with knowing what projects I've managed. And well, for your information, if I had to put a list here, it would be very long. It will be very long because that's what I do for a living. Okay, I will not go any further than that because it's not about me. It is not about me. It is about the struggle for the liberation of Ambazonia. So I will not make it personal. When I made my audio, it wasn't intended to exalt myself. I wasn't trying to exalt myself. I was just so frustrated with the fact that we waste a lot of time, we waste a lot of energy, and we waste it doing useless things. Okay, and that is one very tragic thing with us Africans. We don't know the value of time. We don't yet know the value of time. We fail to know that once a day is gone, it is gone. You can never get it back. So if there was something that you're supposed to do today and you put it to tomorrow, today is gone. If you're doing it tomorrow, you are taking the time that you should have done something tomorrow. That is a frustration I see in this house where every day people just back and forth at each other's throat, insults, curses, caricatures, you name it. Funny things. You will not believe that these are people whose brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers are being slaughtered back home. And we here acting like clowns. That is my frustration. That is it. It is not about me. It is not about me. And when I put my ideas out there, I was just trying to see if we could just use them to be a little bit more constructive. That is it. It is that is it. Okay. So I just hope that we will change this attitude. I honestly hope that we change this attitude because it's not helping us. And I know that Comrade Mechanic said that I made my statements, which I appreciated, but I did not go into any specifics on how to go about it because I wanted to leave it up to the house. I didn't want to come across like I was trying to dictate to this house. That's not my intention. I wanted us to do a brainstorming and see if there are any ideas that can come from all of us, and then we can debate about them and see which one is best to implement, and then take it from there. That is it. So, for that reason, I will, I will say this. Having a work call here. I will say this. For the sake of responding to Comrade Mechanic about the fact that I did not make a proposal, I will propose this. Comrades, how about this? We put together, we agree on supporting, maybe taking a look at ground zero and seeing which fighting groups have been the most productive. And we agree amongst ourselves and say, okay, each month we will do a support contribution in this house. I'm not saying this because I want to be part of any control of such a contribution. I'll be completely out of it. This house can choose those they believe are credible enough to handle such an initiative. They put up accounts where contributions can be sent to, and we'll make it a monthly contribution. Okay? We'll make it a monthly contribution. We say maybe from the 1st to the 15th, all contributions come in. At the end of that period, we look at the fighting groups on the ground. We channel such contributions to them to encourage them, to support them, to help them buy basic things that they may need to defend themselves and to defend our people. And I say we insist on groups that have demonstrated or they've had a track record of productivity and of good behavior. People who are not harassing and killing our civilians. If you want to have an influence on these guys on the ground, you must be able to show that you can support them. If you cannot demonstrate that you can support them, you have no leverage on them. You cannot tell them what to do when you cannot give them a single groundnut for them to defend themselves with. So those are the things I was thinking of, but I didn't want to come out and propose them as if I was trying to dictate to this house. So that is my idea, Comrade Mechanic, and I would like for you and others to chime in and say whether or not you think it's a good idea. And if it's not a good idea, you can propose something else. Propose something else. If you think mine is not good enough, come up with something different. Let us be productive. That's all I'm saying in this house. Because we just talk and talk and talk, and that's not changing anything on the ground. It is not changing. At the end of the day, we don't help to defend anybody on the ground. At the end of the day, we don't help to provide any resource to those on the ground, be it prisoners of war or whatever. We are not doing anything. And we are just wasting time. And as I've already said, time is a very expensive resource, and we manage to waste it a lot. We manage to waste it a lot. Let's stop it. That's all I'm saying. So now you know what I'm thinking. So I want to know what you are thinking.
Comrade Mike Fusi, you have no frustration, honestly speaking. If you had frustration to see that people are being slaughtered back home, you won't sit here and be encouraging charlatanism and buffoonery in the name of an IG. You won't sit here and encourage people to sow seed to a person who has never made any statement and fulfilled it. And you are part of that government. And you talk about how frustrated you are. They're talking about grassroots mobilization, how we can have mandated representation. Who mandated that? Your president? Me? Or who? Who mandated him to come and be begging for seats? 500, even 200, even 100? That's what you stand for? Is that what will stop the bloodshed in Ambazonia? When you want to start, you go for a lobby firm. AGOFC is going for a lobby firm. SACO is going for a lobby firm for the same cause, different representation to the same institutions, making us look stupid in front of the international community. You say you are frustrated. If you are frustrated, then you first of all start by encouraging the dissolution of this scam, which you are supporting in the name of an IG. If you are really frustrated, my brother, you came to my write-up and said, we are those who do nothing. How would you know if I do something? Do you know projects I've sponsored on Ground Zero supporting people? Or you think that you have to know what I do because I must be in your virtual fake scam IG? You brought Kenten. Kenten came and preached something to you, but you are not even able to assimilate what he educated you about representation, mandated representation. Who mandated Chrisanu? If somebody mandated Chrisanu, who migrated from Sako, no, from Seseko IG to Sako IG to Marianta IG to his own IG. That's where you stand, and you think we will believe this scam continuously? A man who has never said anything and it happened. A man who saw all the confusion in this revolution. A man who banned AGOFC, AGF on Ground Zero. A man who, when 37 or 39 were killed, he came and was celebrating that. Let this be an example to the AGF, letting us know that they are the ones who killed those 39 in Bui. That's the man you stand for. When something don't pass, man, make it stay for the backseat. Chris Anu doesn't have the charisma or whatever it takes to be the leader of Ambazonia. He can only lead a few of you who are charlatans, who are there to defend, or who are there for selfish interest. If you know you are frustrated, dissolve this scam you call IG. I heal. Take Socamif, put them for your mob. Fabiano, don't be a topic. Nana Socamif. People who don't want the truth. You support a scam. I want people to support that scam. Not in our name. I heal. Comrade Mike Fusi. Dissolve that scam you call IG. Let's move ahead. And for your proposals that you say we should be connected, this is an information forum that has people from all walks of life, different groupings. We don't do contributions in the Socamif platform. We don't do contributions. However, there are people here you can liaise with who can come in on a platform where those type of contributions can be done. Not in Socamif. Socamif is an information forum that harbors people from all walks of life and all groupings, where we come with exchange on the revolution. Southern Cameroon Information Forum. Just like how you get MSNBC, you get CNN, where different people that they come for debate. Can't you don't they talk? That's also Socamif Day. So make you not misconstrue Socamif like a revolutionary group. Lawo na IG then this so. I don't know how way I go put them, but I know some mechanic don't explain them for you better. He get a better language than me. Have a nice day, comrade. I don't ever tell you say you are a man with very good intentions, but I don't know which other intention they in you way it keep you inside a scam. Martinda, I will tell you every time I meet up you inside the forum. You are a man with very good intentions who have been very productive in this revolution, but you find yourself in a scam. I don't know again where you get to answer that scam. Anyway, time will tell.
Mechanic, the illiterate vice president, the illiterate vice headmaster. Mechanic. The way they struggle, the way they come up, can't take my position like the illiterate schoolmaster. Anyway, I'll be so happy say you don't rise to the illiterate vice master. You don't answer Mike Fusi. You give she the proper bitter leaf. I just wish say a man will get integrity. If you can give one combo with Bafia Kola and Atala, send me you take them, you cool down your mind because there is no other person where if you talk more than what you don't talk for Mike Fusi. I've been so disappointed with Mike Fusi. You know why? I be asked my Fusi the other time. I say that means say for inside on our group when I don't see say the only rule we wanna be playing for support Chris Ano. But I don't think say Chris Ano fit support una. And that is the same issue I have with Dr. Ngwabe. I don't ask Dr. Ngwabe whether the knowledge or the Ambazonia struggle must go ahead now because them rally behind Chris Ano back. And if Chris Ano take that potential, then push Dr. Ambe for front or he push my Fusi for front. It should say my Fusi and Dr. Ambe do not fit deliver, right? They never ever answer me that question. Dr. Ngwabe will tell me the way they say where you want to go fast, me will go you one bit. Where you want to go a long way, me will go with a group. So now the reason that way they support Chris Ano because he thinks they support all other group. It be rational. I support Chris Ano because he want to go with a group. I be still remind Dr. Ngwabe say they say now one could spoil the whole Potachu. No tribe know the way they compete with Bafo people then when it concern Achu. The second tribe where they follow for back, the Mancon people, and the rest of it follow. But the first thing when you talk about Bafo people, you will remind them of the Achu where they chop them. Bafo person where they pound Achu for mortar, one way they grab up for machine or whatsoever. Achu man they grab the pound Achu for mortar, it is smooth passive man we use a machine where one man create them. That will tell you how skill and professional they be. I don't ask Dr. Ngwambe say if he chop Achu a crocodile inside. Dr. Ngwambe if he take that one cocoa when I give us spoil Achu take and put inside mortar so go pound and make that Achu done, it be impossible. Chris Ano don't already been at that spoil cocoa.
Yeah, good evening, Socamifians. Yeah, Grandcharlotte, this guy is either they be very daft or they work for the Republic. Enough to be any different, these two things. Because especially Chris Ano and Sako, that they take out that folio law firm on the grounds it be expensive. Okay? Now they don't repent. Why they not go back for the folio law firm? As they don't chop the money. I quite remember when Chris Ano came here for London. Now me I be asked the first question. Now me I will go first. Me I arrange all the chain of that hall. And me I ask you the first question. I asked about the folio law firm. I said, what did happen with the folio law firm? They say, oh, they be too expensive, so we ask them for do pay as you go. You pay as you go for law. Every the payment arrangement with the law firm, they even be like that, pay as you go, because they will create an account where they get access to, and we get access to, and we get for depot. We go and make sure say 30,000 for the account. But anytime they do a job, they go take the equivalent for that amount, and then they'll give account. We only need for ask them what to do, and then they talk. That's what it will be. Then I see pay as go. They can't take out that law firm. And that time, like, probably not be get any lobbying law firm. Like, probably now, they take your where one will get, they'll probably can hire two of the law firms for wash public image. Neither you see these same crooks that they now so they can't talk about lobbying. Then they forget that law firm where they take them out to. You need to talk about that one. If they're serious about lobbying, why did not go back for the full law firm? Him that they take the law firm out. Now you see all the now we don't now get a mushroom of lobbyists everywhere. That full law firm that mandated be because they talk say they be capable of making the Southern Cameroon's independence as part of U.S. foreign policy. That a mandate that. They never get any for this ICC, all these kinds of they talk say it be unnecessarily expensive. Say, and even if we win there, the ICC not get any means of enforcing that judgment. They say South Sudan, for South Sudan will get that independence, so the tie become part of U.S. foreign policy. And for that direction they will go. Then these agents, they can't take them out. And today they can preach shamelessly about lobbying. And me, I tell you, me, this is me talk where I talk to. Now me, I ask Chris Anu here for London. The first question I may ask him about the full law firm. Today, they can't preach it. I'm going to put a soul seed. Absolute plonkers. Absolute plonkers. If before they never get money for continue follow law firm, how come now all of a sudden they go now they get money? Now so they get money. After that they embezzle all the money will be because before every my trip to Boya, people belong contribute money. Where they do country tour them, all that money them with the different countries they will keep the money them. They will keep the money them, and all that money will be for the bank account. And then most people don't pay citizens levy because some of we at the say they contract lobbies. We pay more than the required amount of the say citizen levy just because of that, because you say they contract a lobbying firm on our behalf. And during that time, that lobbying firm, the lobbying firm, where the lobbying firm be like public, nobody keep where people don't reach after they take their firm out. And that time when really keep where people them, they hide. By the time they take a law firm out, like probably keep where people openly display their body them. The time they even started killing them, that the law firm, like that law firm be talk say the U.S. satellite don't be oriented towards that side. They capture the images for the app, and that be true because even when they investigate that killing for northern Cameroon, they pick right up to the gun mark, the mark of the gun. So those people they can't take a law firm out, like we get open hand now for massacre where people. So they throw young people for hot oil, fry, and the world not talk nothing. We don't get no love them, nothing. Be born where villages, kill where people. Nobody no open a word. And these same criminals, they come now can say don't repent. They want look love him. Absolute criminals, all of them. Charles Aguirre.